Now we have a big matchup this week against your Rams. You guys are 4.5 point favorites,
Yeah.
but you're coming all the way to the East Coast for a 1 o'clock game against the Pats. A Pats team that I fully expect to lose this game. I do think it's going to be a good game. I don't think we're going to get blown out.
Yeah.
Um, our defense has definitely stepped up and looked better. Um, there's a rumor that Barmore may be getting activated. I don't think he'll play versus the Rams tomorrow. This week. But to get a Barmore back, who is probably our best defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Hang on, hang on one
Well,
second. Yes,
excuse me?
I'm doing a podcast. What?
I just want to ask you for Wendy's.
No, thank you.
um,
She knows I'm recording. Like she couldn't have texted me that. Anyway, um,
uh,
yeah. So it's probably our best defensive lineman. He's been out with blood clots since training camp. So he did practice this week. I'm reading here he could play a limited role versus the Rams. We just cut our second round pick from
last
a
year I
few
saw
years
that.
ago. Thornton. Just another bad Belichick receiver pick. Yeah, he ran the fastest that year in the combine, fastest 40. But just because you run a fast 40 doesn't make you a good wide receiver.
No, I agree. With the Rams, I'm hoping that the more reps with that new offensive line helps. They only had one practice before that Sunday night game, or Monday night game. Sorry. So I'm hoping more reps will help with that. But the Rams don't have an easy schedule. We have the Patriots and the Saints, Patriots this week. Then we have Eagles, like you were mentioned earlier, which is not an easy game. Saints, which we should win. Then we go against the Buffalo Bills, who are a top 5 team. San Francisco, who should have all their players back by week 15. The Jets, who should be a win because the Jets are looking terrible.
And a very tough Cardinals team.
And then the Cardinals team, who's tough, and then the Seahawks team, who's tough.
Yeah.
So we don't have an
Yeah,
easy
three
schedule.
out of your last 4 games are going to be tough.
Yeah.
Actually, 4 out of your last 5.
Yeah. So, the Rams have a tough schedule. I believe, from what we did last year, I believe that we can make the playoffs. I'm concerned, but I'm not worried yet. But I will tell you what, I am very, very happy with Jared Verse. I think he is
Jared Verse
absolutely
is going to be defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But this is. I mean, I'm looking at your schedule, and now, granted, you're 4-5, Arizona 6-4, so it's not like anybody's running away with your division.
Yeah.
But looking at your schedule, because after this you got the Eagles, and then Saints, Bills, 49ers. Like this is almost a must-win game for you guys.
100%. I thought Miami was a must-win game, but
I mean,
I think Miami was a must-win game to win the division. I think it's going to be tough to win the division. Now, we have to beat Arizona later this year because they have the tiebreaker over us right now.
Yeah.
We can drop maybe one more game.
Yeah.
And it has to be against a good team like the Bills.
When the playoffs started right now, you guys are in 10th. So, actually Commanders are the 7th seed right now.
Yeah.
But that's before, the rest of the games this weekend. But yeah, I mean it's a must-win game for you guys.
No,
so does that add some pressure? Coming across the country. Now the weather's going to be good. The weather's going to be decent. So that's it's not like you're coming to a super cold, snowy. Look, it's 59 degrees and sunny. So you know, not
I
like
don't know if
the
that's
Ravens game we went to last year where, it's rainy and cold and Rams still played really well in that game.
yeah. I mean, that was the one game they lost in like 8 games. That back end 8 or 9 game stretch, they lost one game. And it was against the Ravens. So yes, do I think, or sorry, it depends on the player. Do I think Cooper Cup or even Puka Nakua or Matthew Stafford is nervous over this game? No, they did this last year. Um, Especially Matthew Stafford and Cooper Cup. They've won a Super Bowl. They've won playoff games. They know what it takes. They've literally won a Super Bowl. They know what it takes to get there. But some of the younger players, some of the rookies, maybe Jared Verse and Braden Fisk specifically, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see how they play this game. It could be, but I really don't think so. I think Jared Verse is just a competitor. He is just a football player. He chirps and he gets into people's head and he just goes to work, in my opinion. So I don't think it will affect us very much. My biggest annoyance or my biggest fear, in all honesty, is Sean McVay going to get over this hiccup he's had in the last in this season in general when it comes to calling. I don't think this has been his best season when it comes to offensive calling, and I hope that he can get over that and get back to what he was so good at.
Well, I'm also sitting there looking at the playoffs of the AFC, and I'm not saying that the Patriots are going to make the playoffs, but guess what? They're 3-7. The Broncos right now have the 7th seed at 5-5.
Yeah,
So
everybody's talking about how Miami's a potential playoff team, and they're 3-7.
Miami's 3-6.
Oh, sorry, 3-6.
But this is the thing: if we beat the Rams, which is a big if, we're at the Dolphins, and then we have the Colts.
Yeah.
So, let's just say they get hot, and you get a couple wins going. 4 or 5. If you're 6-7, and they still haven't even played the Bills yet, and don't get me wrong, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I said 6 is their ceiling, on what they can win. But hey, stranger things have happened in this league.
I agree. I mean, I think the Jags made the playoffs, and they were a couple years ago, and they were 2-7.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I'm not making any predictions, but
yeah,
if they beat the Rams, the Rams, which is a big if, who just has, and I'm saying that, and they only have one more win than the Pats do. Yeah, but that's a big if. Then you just never know. I mean, that's why I love this league. It's crazy.